if the world's premier athletes lined up on the starting blocks only to see Zeus strolling in with thunderbolts tucked under his arm. Our mockumentary opens with a stadium buzzing with anticipation. A modern Olympic crowd expects record-breaking feats. Instead, they witness Mount Olympus descend onto the track. Lightning illuminates the sky as Zeus, lord of the sky and wielder of the thunderbolt, takes his seat like a regal champion ready to remind everyone why he's the supreme ruler of the gods. Beside him strides Poseidon, trident in hand, the sea god whose weapon can shake the earth and shatter any object. Artemis, the huntress, arrives with a quiver of arrows and a demeanor as cool as the forest she roams. Athena, goddess of wisdom, steps quietly but confidently, her helmet gleaming. Ares, the god of war, flexes impatiently, eager for the combat events. Demeter, mother of the harvest and fertility, carries a cornucopia and surveys the concession stands with interest. Hermes, the winged herald, flashes by with his winged sandals. Barely leaving a breeze, human athletes whisper nervously, some inspired by the opportunity, others intimidated by the presence of immortals. Commentators chime in with jokes and disbelief. We're live at the most extraordinary opening ceremony in history. We expected fireworks, but this is literal lightning. The opening ceremony takes on a mythological twist. As the nations march in, the gods cut through the parade like a VIP procession. Zeus raises his thunderbolt like a torch, its sparks dazzling the crowd. The audience roars when Poseidon lifts his trident and conjures a shimmering wave down the track. Artemis points an arrow toward the heavens and releases, splitting a camera drone in half to gasps and applause. Athena nods politely and tosses an olive branch to the dignitaries. Ares, eyes ablaze, shadow boxes as he walks. Demeter hands out loaves of bread and golden wheat stalks to the children in the front row. Hermes darts in and out of the parade, exchanging high fives, delivering lost passports and grabbing snacks. Mortals comment on the surreal mixture of tradition and myth. The commentary team runs out of adjectives, their banter oscillating between awe and humor. "I've covered 7 Olympics," one commentator says, "and I've never seen an opening ceremony with a god of war photobombing the prime minister." The field events begin with a javelin throw. Mortals line up with carbon fiber spears, but Zeus casually unsheathes the thunderbolt. It's not fair by any metric, but he's never been one for fairness. His thunderbolt is a weapon he hurls at those who displease him, and he's eager to repurpose it as sports equipment. The stadium holds its breath. Zeus winds up, and in slow motion the bolt leaves his hand, crackling through the air like a comet. The track scorches, and a thunderous boom echoes as the lightning bolt pierces the far end of the field and disintegrates the distance marker. The replay shows meteorologists fainting. Commentators whisper, "Do we even have tape measures long enough for that?" The human javelin champion follows, determined but pale, and throws a respectable world record distance that looks like a pebble toss. Zeus graciously offers a tip about wrist flicks. The mortal pretends to take notes. The mind games begin in an air-conditioned hall rather than a stadium. Athena, embodiment of wisdom, reason, and purity, sits across from the reigning human grandmaster. She sprang fully grown in her armor from Zeus's forehead and invented the bridle and the plow so a chessboard doesn't intimidate her. Athena smiles as she taps a pawn forward. Human grandmasters conference nervously. Each of her moves feels like a lesson in strategy. She sees the whole board like a battlefield. Commentators whisper like golf announcers. After 20 moves, the human realizes he has been checkmated. His queen is pinned by an owl perched on Athena's shoulder. She thanks her opponent kindly and mentions she enjoys mind sports because they limit her need to destroy armies. Meanwhile, the boxing arena thunders. Ares climbs into the ring wearing minimal protection. He is considered murderous and blood-stained, but also a coward in some myths. Yet here he looks unstoppable. His eyes burn, his muscles ripple. The mortal opponent, a heavyweight champion, glares back, unafraid and heavily gloved. The bell rings. Ares lunges with a spear feint, but the referee reminds him he's limited to fists. He scowls and throws a punch, reminiscent of a battering ram. Slow motion shows sweat and spit flying on cinematic arcs. The human boxer counters with a flurry, actually staggering the god of war. The crowd erupts. Commentators scream, "The mortal landed a shot on Ares." The goddess Hera, watching from the stands, covers her eyes. After a few rounds, Ares demonstrates why he's the patron of warriors. One thunderous right hook knocks the mortal out cold. As medics rush in, Ares raises his arms and roars. The human audience is torn between outrage at the mismatch and admiration for the mortal's bravery. In the aquatic center, the gods decide to challenge mortals in swimming. Poseidon, who became lord of the sea after drawing lots and whose weapon is a trident that can shake the earth, jumps into the pool. His trident doubles as a pool noodle. The starting horn blares, and Poseidon surges ahead, creating a whirlpool that drags opponents behind him. Mortals flail as waves crash over the lane markers. Commentators comment, "He's making his own ocean in there." On replay, underwater cameras capture Poseidon's powerful dolphin kick, propelling him like a torpedo. When he finishes, the scoreboard displays an impossible negative time. Officials huddle, then hand him a ceremonial seashell and ask him to sit out the rest of the aquatic events. Poseidon laughs and conjures a podium fountain for decoration. Out on the track, the sprint events feature Hermes as pacemaker. Hermes is the winged herald and messenger of the gods. Artists depict him with winged sandals and a wand. His sandals carry him across land and sea with the rapidity of wind. For the 400-meter dash, Hermes volunteers to deliver oxygen to exhausted runners. He jogs backwards with a smile, fanning mortals with his hat, encouraging them to keep pushing. The slow-motion footage highlights his winged sandals barely touching the ground. He finishes first, obviously, but volunteers to forgo a medal, citing a conflict of interest. Runners collapse. Hermes literally delivers bottled oxygen to them from the medical tent in record time. One commentator quips, "He's also delivering our pizza during this commercial break." As the games wind down, the gods gather on the field, victorious, bewildered, and completely unaware of how many rules they've broken. Mortals cheer, exhausted but thrilled to have survived a sporting event with actual Olympians. Zeus twirls his thunderbolt proudly, Poseidon turns the podium into a fountain, and Hermes is already delivering snacks to the crowd. And that wraps up the first, and probably last, Olympian Games record shattered, physics ignored, and bragging rights secured for the next 1,000 years. Until next time, may your competitions stay only mildly divine.